2023, the big juicy burrito that was 2023. A busy year, lots of stress, lots of things. He's lost it, but we're going to keep going because it was one hell of a year. You think it started in March at our opener? It didn't. It started in November, just like we are now. November to November, when we got the keys to our brand new workshop, and there was nothing more in this workshop other than 2 massive drafty doors, a bat, and a tractor.
That's pretty much it. We pretty much run a November to November year. This show pretty much sort of is like our little season closer. And this year, we've managed to turn up on the BMW stand, and we've seen this. And to be honest, that was about as good sort of, I don't know, highlight of the year as you'd ever really need, basically. We're sat on the biggest stand at the biggest show in the country, and we're just on it. Yeah. And that's very, very cool. And it's something we just thought, you know, we should probably sit down and just have a bit of a chat about what's happened in 2023, right from when we got given the keys to this point. So, workshop.
Workshop, yes. So, we've installed a mez, we've installed a lot of painted floor, a fab room, upstairs, downstairs, a loft, ramps, workbenches, you name it. We installed it ourselves, and we had to do it as quickly and as pragmatically as we possibly could because we had a workshop full of work that we still had to get done. And the first bike that rolled out of the workshop, which was the old workshop for 2023, was the build that we'd done in February, which was my favourite build of the year, and that was a beautiful blue R18 with a handcrafted pillion rack, which the customer then took off to the Alps, which was extremely cool and my favourite build of the year. And it was too cold for me to ride it because I hate the cold, but I felt like an absolute champ when I was riding.
I think for me, I remember you coming back and just being like beaming, and it's like, dude, what's gone wrong? Because it's February and you've just gone out on an R18, which is still at the time was a bit of a divisive bike for people and stuff like that, and you're smiling and you're just like, dude, that bike is just so good.
So good.
And I think that was really almost like the time that sold itself to you. So when we then got off the opportunity to put these R18s together for BMW for the Bike Shed show, you were like, absolutely. I think, well, we know we took on too much with taking those bikes on. We'd already got, so to explain the workshop, we'd already got bikes dropped in November to be ready for February. We then already had the bikes lined up in February to be dropped in for the Bike Shed show. We then had BMW come to us and say, okay, so we've got another couple of R18s we want you guys to do. And you said to me at the time, I remember it clear as day, I'm not sure we should do this. And I was like, BMW don't come knocking very often to say you can have not one but 2 bikes for the biggest custom show is what we do. So I forced your hand and said yes, and we got there.
We did get there, yes.
Like the Bike Shed was
This is great, but it does represent some months of stress, but that's fine. Fast forward February to March, we had a workshop open day. We were very, very proud of our new facility that we put together in a very, very short period of time, and we wanted to share it with the PCC public. And I tell you what, you guys turned up in your droves on a very, very wet day, and it was incredible. We were really, really touched by the amount of people that turned up.
Like massively
really humbled. Like we had Craft House coffee on site, dishing out the flat whites all day, and it was just a really, really humbling experience, and we're really, really grateful for that. So thank you so much. And we had to put that in the past very, very quickly because then we had to get some work knocked out the door.
A lot of work knocked out the door. We took, I'm doing this for the seat of my pants a little bit, 6, 7 bikes at the Bike Shed in the end.
It was 6 bikes.
I think we had 6 that we organised, and there was actually a couple of others there that a couple of other people took
through
too.
Valkyrie took a couple.
Yeah, exactly that. And so we were basically like, right, we've got the workshop done, can't really celebrate it, heads down, crack on. So we're like, okay, cool, this is good. We managed to knock out all of the bikes in time, although a couple of them did have to come back to have some finishing touches. We refer to it as showers, not goers, where basically you're like, oh God, get it ready, everyone needs to see it shiny and lovely. And actually you come back and then pull the electrics and everything else back together, ready to go. But that happened, and then the sun came out, and life felt a bit more like we could breathe.
But it did feel like we could breathe. And with the sun coming out, also a kind of brand new X-Demo Gen 3 R90 turned up at our doorstep, and Rory said, Stuart Hill, I've been doing this behind your back, but you're going to love me for it. That's our new track bike.
Yeah.
And I was over the moon because in the background we had been lining up a brand new electronics package that we worked closely with RS2E in Germany. The guys, Rainer and Robert, they are top-notch guys, and we've gone into a little bit more detail in that in another video, so check that out. But they have put together the best race package for our Gen 3 bike that we could ever ask for, and it's been a humdinger from there forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think, to be honest, with regards to parts, and new things and new technology and new excitement. Obviously, without any new models landing in the beginning part of the year, it's all about what parts have come out this year. For me, the electronics package, coupled up with the fact that we started working with Ohlins as well, has been banging. They've been two sort of like really big things where you just sort of look at each other and go, did we just send our ECU off to a World Superbike and MotoGP engineer to send it back so we can fit our full factory Olin supported whatever together to go to Donington to get tech data on as we're on the go? Like,
did he then send it back with a selfie of him wearing our t-shirt? Yeah, he did.
Honestly, like, we're not trying to sit here and just be like, oh my God, how cool are we? Like, this is stuff that we never thought about. Like, we went club racing a long time ago. We were like 2-3 people in a camper eating beans, you know what I mean? And like, you just look at this stuff now and just like, man, like, I know it's a bit of a cliche how hard you work and everything pays off eventually, but like, we're so grateful to those people for allowing us to get to this point we've got to. And speaking of racing, we took flat tracks out as well.
We did, we took the flat tracks out. That was their last hurrah. We've retired the flat tracks for the foreseeable future, basically. One of them is now a display bike and will be an exhibition bike when we want to dig it out. We've kind of put it on a nice plinth in the workshop. And the other one, we're going to turn into Silver Racer 2.0. That's going to be a bike that we're going to go from the ground up, repowder coat and turn it back to brand new condition and get it out for sale, as the Silver Racer was one of our most popular bikes on the socials. And we just think we should give you another one. So that will be something that we'll be doing in 2024. So look out for that.
So that's pretty much to the end of the summer. I think at that point, we rolled out what was my favourite bike, if I'm honest. So the Tour Muscle.
Oh yeah.
Big fans of the Tour Muscle. We learned a lot this year, and one of the things we learned was basically how we can do a legitimate fat tyre front end. And basically, a lot of people want the big, fat, sort of like, you know, like chunky muscle bike front end. And we found that if you use a big, fat, chunky tyre, the right size, obviously, on a scrambler, all of a sudden you can get that big look, but without any of the nonsense where the electronics and the ABS and the traction all want to throw it all out. So like, for me, to be able to finally get what we'd been working on for 2 or 3 years to get right, and we'd had a few builds where we'd had that on, but it wasn't quite right, this, that, the other, to get it all in one piece. And then thankfully Stu, the owner, was just like, sound. He was just like, I want it to be, second bike. I just wanted to look like a full factory PCC build. It looked banging. So that's me.
I did put together a little blog going into a few details on that, and Generation Game, look out for it. It's on the website, blog there, ready to go. So
that's kind of us to that point, isn't it?
I think that was it. Really.
Going forward from where we are now, from everything we can celebrate about the year that we've had so far, for me, I think it's going to be adding some new parts to the business. So you guys have probably seen Pete and his little fuzzy head sort of hovering around. He went off to the Alps, did a little bit on the socials for us. He's doing a bit on the socials for us over the next few weeks. He's going to be coming on board with us. So most likely if you send an email through to us, there's a good chance you're going to be getting Pete going forward. You're certainly going to see him on the socials. Massive, massive thanks to both Sarah and Jack, who have also come, on board with helping us grow the business and allowing us to spend a bit more time downstairs. And obviously downstairs is where I'm going to start focusing more of my time, because we've got capacity now.
We have got capacity. We've got a handful of big projects that we really need to get out as soon as we possibly can, but we want to thank the customers. You know who you are. You have been very, very patient, and we really, really appreciate you bringing the big projects to us and also being so patient. Ultimately, we want to get these right and perfect, and unfortunately that just takes time, but we're very, very grateful for your patience. Outside of that, the fact that we have Sarah and Jack and Pete upstairs, that means that we have mad capacity downstairs for servicing. So yeah, something that we've never been able to do before, and that is be able to offer you almost within the same week, if not 2, a date to get your bike booked in for either servicing or some small accessories to be fitted. So that moving forward is going to allow us to really make the most of our biggest space at the workshop and really pump that work.
I genuinely love doing the servicing. I'm one of those people, I just love working through a tick list. And I think that's really good. We get to see a lot more faces through the workshop. We get to show people what we do. We get to share a bit more of what we do. You know, workshop, when we opened it, we always said this is a shared space. You know, like, yes, it's our workplace, but we want people to come in. We want to make them sort of feel part of the PCC family. So the servicing and the fitting small parts is a really, really good way of doing that. Additionally, we're going to start doing a little bit of clothing on the website too. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We're not quite there with like finishing everything off, but we are working with new brands, Age of Glory, Kytone, Pipe Brothers, and there will be a few more. So as and when you're on the website thinking like, oh, that's cool, I'm going to pick up myself some new handlebars, headlight, whatever, do flick over to the clothing side of things. We're going to have some technical gear on there. We've got more, obviously, PCC casual gear, and all that sort of stuff just helps us carry on doing what we're doing.
We're going to wrap it up it's been one hell of a year, but I need to thank Roy Milton. He's been my partner in crime and really has been an absolute solid this year. We've had some really, really savagely stressful months, and he really has been my column of support, and I really, really appreciate all the effort that you've gone to keeping us afloat and keeping us as buoyant as we possibly can. And I also want to thank him for all of the effort that's gone into the website. It is a real, real head scratcher, making sure the website is absolutely perfect with everything that's gone in the background. And obviously we've got Rory and now Jack that has helped out really push things to the next level. So thank you very, very much, Rory Milts, and I really look forward to the future.
I agree. You did a good job too. See you later.